So you want to learn a crochet increase stitch. Well, you've come to the right place. That's great because increase stitches are very important fundamentally, and even though they sound like a little fancy, maybe even a little complex, they're actually incredibly simple. So today I'm going to break it down for you in the easiest way possible. First, I'm going to show you a diagram because I'm a very visual learner, and when I started crochet, I found it incredibly difficult to just look at a piece, be able to identify the individual stitches, and just understand what was going on altogether. Next, I'm going to give you an example by crocheting a coaster. That way you can see the crochet increase stitch step by step. I find watching a project being done in real time, because this is a recording, it is a lot easier to grasp and then transfer that knowledge over to your own projects. So by the end of this video, you will not only know what a crochet increase stitch is, but you'll know how to use it for all your future projects. So let's get started. Oh, and if you want to just skip directly to the stitch, you can just use this timestamp here. Okay, so let's say this circle is your first stitch. In order to do a crochet increase stitch, you have to do 2 stitches within that 1 stitch. So it would come out like that. 1 stitch, 2 stitches. And that would continue on. So then in this stitch, you would create 2. And in this stitch, you would create 2. So now you have 1 stitch, 2 stitches, and 4 stitches, and it continues on. Hence, increase. All right, now let's put this into practice. Okay, to make our coaster with increasing crochet stitches, we first have to make a foundation chain. 4 fingers worth of yarn. This will be my tail end, this will be my yarn end. Fold it over. You have a little X there. And then through this loop, I am going to pull the yarn end through, making 2 loops and continuously pulling till I have a little knot. Then I will take this loop, place it on the hook, and with the yarn end, not the tail end, I am going to pull until I feel that resistance against the hook. Next, I am going to chain 4. Yarn over and pull the yarn through this slip stitch or this first loop. Pull it through, and that is my first chain in my foundation chain. So I need 3 more. Yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, and as you can see, we now have 3. This is our slip stitch, our knot. 1, 2, 3. We need 1 more yarn over, pull through, and that is 4. Now, to make this chain a circle, I am going to take my hook and put it through the first stitch in the foundation chain. So what that will look like when you first do is you've got kind of a U on your hook. As you can see, this is getting a little loose, so I'm just going to pull it a little bit more. Excellent. And I'm just going to hold this, yarn over. I'm just going to grab my U, and I'm going to pull that yarn through loop 1 and loop 2. And I'm just going to place this down so you have a better view. I now have a circle on my hook. Now, to build this up, I am going to chain 2. So to make it move upward. So 1, 2. And the reason I have chained 2 is because I am now going to do 11 double crochets along the entire circle. And a double crochet, very similar to a single crochet like we were doing with our foundation chain. The difference is that you yarn over first. So you have a yarn over, I'm now going to place my hook through the hole in the circle, yarn over again, pull the yarn through the circle, and as you can see, I now have 3 loops on my hook. I am now going to yarn over again, pull through 1 loop, and 2 loops. Yarn over a second time and pull through those 2 loops. So that is now our first double crochet out of 11, so we have 10 more. I am going to yarn over, stick my hook through the circle, take my hook and pull the yarn through the circle. I now have 3 loops on my hook. I am now going to yarn over again and pull through 2 loops and pull through 2 loops. This is why it's called a double crochet, because you are pulling the yarn through 2 loops twice. All right, so now we have 1, 2. Your chain here also counts as a double crochet. So while I am chaining 11 double crochets, our end total will be 12. Now I am just going to speed run until we get to this knot. Okay, we now have 8 double crochets in our circle and we are at the knot. I am just going to take the tail, put it behind me, and continue to double crochet. The reason this is important because after we're done our circle, we can pull this to close this circle a little bit more. Or you can leave it if you like the look of it. Perfect. So now you have your circle. To connect these 2 pieces, because we don't want a little Pac-Man, we're just gonna, and this is why I like having nails, that little gap, we're gonna take our hook and we're gonna just do a single crochet or a slip stitch. Pull the yarn through, yarn over, and secure it. So now, oops, now it's a circle. Now on to the fun part, explaining what a crochet increase stitch is. So I'm going to chain 2 again because I'm going to be doing double crochets. 1, 2. And an increase stitch means we want this circle to obviously increase in size. And in order to do that, there needs to be multiple stitches in each individual stitch. I'm just going to take the hook off for a second. In this stitch here, there's going to be 2. In this stitch here, there's going to be 2. There's going to be 2 stitches in all of the stitches going around. So I'm going to yarn over, stick my hook through that V. That's what it looks like on the hook. Let me just separate it a little bit more so you get a better visual. Perfect. I'm going to yarn over, pull the yarn through that V. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So I'm going to just take my hook off again so you can see how the double crochet is attached in this stitch. So you got 1, 2, want a second one in there. So we're going to yarn over, stick the hook through the same stitch, pull the yarn through that stitch, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. I'm just going to try to separate it a bit more, take my hook off again so you can again visually see. That is what it looks like. If you're counting the individual 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously double it up to 4. That way you know you have 2 stitches in one singular stitch. I'm going to do it again in the next one. Yarn over, stick the hook through the V, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. See, there's 1 on that individual stitch, yarn over, place through the stitch. And the way you know you've done it through both is because you have a V on your hook, yarn over, whoops, that will sometimes happen, not a big deal. Just kind of twist the yarn to make sure. Yarn over, have the hook pull it through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. It'll look something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of this, and I will be right back. All right. And as you can see, the circle has increased in size, hence the name Crochet Increase Stitch. And for the last, in this stitch, you only do 1 because this also counts as a double crochet. You're starting 2 stitches. Oh, I almost messed that up. Yarn over. So now to connect these 2, I am going to do a single crochet or a slip knot. Those 2 mean the same thing, but in tutorials oftentimes they will say we are going to do a slip stitch here. So poke my hook through, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through both loops, and that is my circle. And of course, to increase again, I would chain 2, and it is the same process once again. Each stitch, you are doing 2 double crochets in, and depending what your project is asking for, it would be a double of whatever stitch through each individual stitch. And see how it is increasing once again. Okay, now my coaster is complete and you can see the size difference. I'm just going to go ahead, cut this. I'm then going to secure it by doing a single crochet, creating a knot so that it doesn't come undone. Next, I am going to weave in my ends. So I just have my needle, I'm just wrapping the yarn around and weaving it into the coaster. Next, for the tail end, I am weaving the yarn just around the circle and pulling the tail as I go. This is going to close up that center hole. Just gonna flip it over, kind of zhuzh it up a bit. And there you have it. And that is how you do a crochet increase stitch. Hope this helps.